The wind over Khorasan carved ancient worlds into the desert's face, but buried underneath the earth was something older than empire or stone. In the town of Firuzaka, where the old roads between Herat and Samarkand once pulsed with caravans, a university student named Navid came chasing whispers he should have left alone. He had been researching alchemical texts, initially as a part of a thesis on pre-Islamic Persian philosophy. But what began as a study became obsession when he encountered a name that scholars dismissed or footnoted without clarity: Ostamus. First, the name surfaced only in footnotes beneath Zosimos, Pliny, and a few Arab philosophers. But then Navid found a reference buried in a mistranslated commentary attributed to Al-Kindi. The reference described a scroll said to contain the passage of souls by the guidance of fire, air, and dream. Hidden in the ruins of an abandoned observatory east of the Alborz Mountains, the scroll bore a curious name in badly distorted Syriac: the Mirror of the Bridge. No map marked the site, but Navid pieced it together from fragments: old merchant travelogues, heretical codices once censored by the Buyids, and particularly Hadith Qudsi, forged by an anonymous mystic who claimed he saw angels standing with bridled mouths. At the heart of the ruins, he discovered a chamber paved with basalt slabs. The air was colder there, unnaturally so, and inside was a circular pit lined with obsidian fragments. A phrase was etched repeatedly into the stone around it in a strange mixture of Greek, Hebrew, and something older, possibly Elamite. I am the fire that passes between. I am the voice between speech. The pit was not deep, only wide. At its center, on a dais of shattered marble, was the mirror. It was not made of glass nor silver. It looked like polished black metal, but no reflection showed in its surface. Only light warped like heat haze over a desert road. Navid approached. The words he had memorized from his search burned in his throat, demanding to be spoken. The spell was not a supplication, it was a command. Noisy, noisy, you who are the sacred egg from birth, unfold now the gate that does not sleep. The words left Navid's mouth like smoke rising from a sacrificial fire. They did not echo. Instead, the chamber grew utterly silent, as though even the wind that had accompanied him down the stair had been halted by an unseen presence. The mirror shimmered, not with light, but with motion. Something stirring just beneath the surface, like breath fogging on cold steel. Navid's heart beat once, then twice, then stilled. Not from death, but from being caught between pulses by a force that paused time around him. The mirror no longer showed distortion. Now it showed something. It showed him, but not as he stood. It showed him as he would be, robed in garments stitched from stars and serpents, his left hand outstretched in a gesture of command, his right hand holding a wand of living bone. Behind him were no ruins. There stood a great hall of pillars, carved in fire and glass, with symbols etched in a tongue that shimmered even in the stillness. He could not tear his eyes away. A voice, but not a sound, entered his awareness. It did not speak to his ears, but wrote itself into the thoughts behind his eyes. You stand before the threshold of the deep image. You seek ascent. You seek the bridge. Naveed whispered aloud before he realized he was speaking. Who speaks to me? The voice answered, not with a name, but with presence. It unfolded into a memory that did not belong to him, a vision of the philosopher Astonis, standing beneath a temple dome where stars moved like living ruins. He held a vessel filled with shadow and light, whispering into it in a language made of breath and geometry. Naveed saw other images, rites of purification, by fire and incense. The drawing of concentric circles filled with vocus magicae, the binding of intention through symbols etched in frankincense smoke. He saw Astonis create a figure from ink and gold, then place into it something from his own chest, a light like a star pressed into clay. Then it was gone. The mirror cleared. The image was no more. But beneath Naveed's feet, the basalt tiles glowed with lines that had not been there before. Geometry traced the luminescent dust, patterns known only to the oldest initiates. At the center of the room now stood a new form, a gate made not of metal, but of air, made solid. Through it he saw not another place, but another version of himself, standing with the star-bound robe and bone wand, watching through a mirror of his own. Naveed stepped forward, and the gate swallowed him. The moment Naveed crossed the threshold, the air shifted as if he had slipped through layers of existence. The ruins of the observatory vanished, replaced by a vast hall of flickering light and shadow. Pillars rose like great trees, carved with spirals and serpents, intertwined in endless dance. Above him, the dome shimmered with constellations unfamiliar, yet deeply resonant, as if mapping not the stars outside, but the hidden pathways of the soul. He wore the robes he had seen in the mirror, woven from the threads of light and darkness, each stitch humming with energy. In his hand the wand of living bone pulsed gently, as if attuned to his heartbeat. Around him a circle of figures stood silent, their faces obscured beneath hood of starlight. Their voices did not speak. Instead, they sent waves of thought, layered with focus magicae. Each syllable a key, unlocking hidden chambers in his mind. The leader stepped forward, raised a hand carved from crystal. The gesture was both command and invitation. Naveed understood without words that he was to undertake the rite of the divine ascent, an ancient ritual passed down by Ostanus and his followers to cross the planes of existence and unite the material with the cosmic. The first step was purification. From the shadows emerged vessels filled with fragrant smoke, myrrh, frankincense, and lesser-known essences distilled from herbs whispered about in forbidden text. Naveed inhaled deeply, the air thick with sacred vapors that stirred memories long buried. His body felt light, as if shedding layers of flesh, reaching toward a more subtle form. Next, the circle began the invocation. Their combined voices rose in a crescendo of vocus magicae, syllables shaped from Egyptian and Semitic roots, vibrating with ancient power. The sound was neither language nor song, but a bridge, a cosmic hum that bound Navid's essence to the luminous geometry etched upon the hall's floor. As the chant reached its peak, the floor beneath him opened to reveal a spiral staircase descending into shadow. With no hesitation, Naveed stepped down, each step echoing with the pulse of a hidden cosmos. The walls were alive with shifting sigils, glowing softly as if recognizing his passage. At the bottom, he entered a chamber where the air was thick with silence. In the center stood a basin filled with water that mirrored not the hall, but the infinite night sky. Navid gazed into the basin and saw reflections of his soul, fractured shards of light and shadow, each waiting to be recoiled. The leader's voice returned within his mind. To ascend, you must offer yourself to transformation. Accept the divine spark, the sacred egg, and pass through the veil that separates. Without knowing why, Naveed raised his wand and traced the symbols of the one and the whole upon the water's surface. The basin rippled, and from its depth rose a figure draped in robes of stars, an ethereal reflection of himself, yet ageless and eternal. The figure spoke in the tongue of the magic technique, words which unfolded as visions rather than sounds. It revealed that all transformation was mediated. Nothing could move from the lower state to the higher state without a bridge, an agent. That agent was the divine spark residing within the soul, the logos that connected the cosmos and the material world. Naveed understood then that the rite was more than passage. It was awakening. He was not crossing to another place, but awakening. a hidden dimension within himself. Suddenly, the chamber began to dissolve into a cascade of light. Naveed felt himself pulled away through layers of reality. Above the stars sang their celestial song, and beneath the earth waited for his return. When he opened his eyes, he was back in the ruined observatory. The mirror lay cracked on the floor, its surface now reflecting a single rose with layered petals and thorns, a symbol of the complexity of hidden things, both beautiful and dangerous. Naveed smiled, knowing that his journey had only just begun.